I really hardly think of the word friend. I think of him as a necessary part of my coexistence in life. His word was sacrosanct, and he had no hesitancy in saying no, and that I loved. I would describe him as a very gifted man, a man who was seeking for the best and only the best. He was a strange, gentle, fierce man. Fierce because he would only settle for the best. He saw everything that went out under his name. Nothing did not pass his judgment. He had absolutely no time for mediocrity. He would only settle for the best. I give him my complete honor. Halston loved to laugh and loved everything that pertained to laughter. Those wonderful eyes of children. And Halston had those eyes that look right straight through you. He could look at something and savor it. Halston was and is a unique person in my life. At times it was a childish relationship of two children together, creating a world of their own. He felt that you had a right to achieve perfection if you could take the risk to do it. If you didn't take the risk, to hell with you. I think I saw the best in him that spoke to the best in me. I do feel the privilege of having known and worked with such a being.
Ladies and gentlemen, Martha Graham. Hello, I'm Marisa Berenson. Halston adored women. He was always wonderful to the women he dressed and the women he admired. And if you were a friend of his, there's nothing you couldn't go to him with. Deanna Vreeland, who adopted me as her godchild when I first came to New York, introduced me to him in the late 60s. And from that moment on, he became one of the most important people in my life. Whether it was on 68th Street or in the Olympic Towers, I would drop in to see him to have lunch or tea or just to talk. I got married once. One afternoon, I went up to see him in the Olympic Towers. I was in a state. I just got back from LA, or just moved back from LA, rather. And I said to him, H, I'm getting married. Where does one get married in this town? And he sat there for a while thinking it over and knowing how lost I was. And finally he said, darling, you have no daddy, so I'm going to be your daddy. I'm going to give you a wedding right here, and I'm going to give you a reception right here. And I'm going to walk you down the aisle. What do you want to wear? And being the last of the great romantics, he decided I should look like a fairy princess. So he made me a dress of pink taffeta and diamond-studded tulle. And for weeks, we worked on the music and picked out all my favorite romantic songs. I'll never forget that beautiful New York night as the setting sun was reflecting in all those mirrors and turning the whole world pink. He walked me down the aisle to When You Wish Upon a Star, amongst hundreds of orchids and all my friends, and gave me one of the most beautiful days of my life. There was never a time that I didn't go up there to see him, that he didn't cover me in his latest creation, or give me some wonderful treasure, or just laugh with me. He was so wonderfully amusing. Or just talk to me like a brother and give me good advice. His spirit was generosity. His spirit was joy of life. His spirit was sharing that joy with others. Friendship was so much a part of him that he made you feel enfolded in it. When I think of him, when I go back through that photo album you keep in your mind, I'm struck with the fact that none of the images are of him alone. He's always surrounded with friends, or the people he worked with, or the women he dressed. I felt he needed us as much as we needed him. And the nicest thing is that we will go on needing him, and the memories of him will be here to fulfill that need. I just loved him.